Andre, can we get some air going, days? The ladies are about to go into hot flashes here. And you don't need that, so get that air going, babe. Girls, thanks for coming. Let me introduce myself really quick in case we haven't met. I'm Sarah Perea. We are going to have a ton of fun. This over here is Steph. Yes, part of your designer leadership team. Our premier mama, maybe your grandma, your great grandma Kate, she's not here. She is celebrating 3 diamonds at Haven. So Kate is in Dallas at Haven, and she is just getting her cup filled up with a whole bunch of good stuff to bring back to our team and just be able to teach us and train us. So really excited. We're going to start off with our builders tonight, doing a little fun icebreaker. So our builders, gals and Kates here, kind of new to Premier, and you're like, what is this? Designer, builder, what is she talking about? A builder, girls, is when you hold 24 home shows within 1 year, and you sponsor 4 first-level jewelers. So let me introduce our builders to you. This is Beth Wilcox. You're good, you do, I think. Stand up. Maggie Kelleher. And then Erin Riley. And these girls have some clean for us, so take it away, ladies.
You just looked at me. Okay, fine. All right, ladies. So what we're going to do, So what we thought we would do is, who's heard of 2 truths and a lie? Yeah, usually we play that kind of on our own, right? But tonight we are going to put everybody in groups of 3. Yes, for a little icebreaker. So what you have to do is you have to get into groups of 3, and you, amongst the 3 of you, have to determine who is going to tell 2 truths about your individual selves and who's going to tell the lie. And then we'll pull you up here in front of the group, and we'll do the 2 truths and a lie. And we are going to give prizes to the group that has the most creative lie.
So figure out who in your group you think can stump everyone.
Your best lie.
So play amongst ourselves, and then you're gonna who has the best one.
Yeah. So maybe like you 3.
Okay.
What should we do? Like 5 to 7 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. That sounds perfect. So we want to hop back with those. You can be wherever you want. Groups of 3. All right. Should we give them 5 minutes? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you 3 and then 5 minutes. Go. They're gonna be a group of 4. There's gonna be a group of 4. So yeah, there'll be 1 group of 4. Yeah, we're good. Sounds good. All right. And the whole point is to be demonstrated that, fun line. So start us out, girlfriend. Alright, so number 1. Yeah. So 1. Yeah.
It's like you play it amongst yourself.
Oh, I got it. Okay, I was so
Come on, one of you has to come up with something, because otherwise by default that'd be fine.
Okay,
Okay. Contest. We're doing headstand. I've written this about doctors. And number 3 is I learned to drive when I
like, wait a Two-minute warning. But I have it was a.
He saw me. I still got cute. I think he's up on the but that was totally hungry. What's over there?
Time's up! All right, so we want to grab it in first. Okay. All right. Time's up, ladies and Okay, so we're gonna grab Sarah's group first, and they're gonna do their truths and a lie. We're gonna make them guess. Yep. So you guys have to guess who's truth, who's lie, that kind of. Come on, ladies.
This is Janet.
All of them? Actually, like here's one.
Great.
Come on, Janet.
You're not spread. No, all of you have to come up.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You're looking right here with you.
Okay. So I met my husband at 13, when I was only 13 years old. I actually grew up in a hunting family, and I actually shot a 5-point buck. That's my life. And last summer, I trained for a really expensive race that we did in the mud.
Okay.
So we get?
Yeah, actually, my friend.
Okay. As a group. Yeah, we're gonna guess.
Oh, sorry.
She said the book.
Brittany's got opinions up here.
Just going for it.
My vote was to meeting your husband at 13.
My book's Mud Ranks.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. They're all lies.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, all right.
I'm like, we can't be here all night, girls. You do.
So,
Someone needs to be a tiebreaker.
I was gonna say, who thinks it's the buck? Is that the lie? Okay, who thinks it's the hubby? And who thinks it was the tough mudder, I assume?
Oh, that was like even all the way through.
I better lie than
You
zero.
were at the buck, yeah. So which one is lie?
The buck.
Oh!
Yeah.
It wasn't tough mudder, I did mutter all of us.
Oh, close group.
Yes, it's tough enough.
Alright, you're next.
We're next?
Yep.
Who's going?
She just.
They just gotta kind of keep going.
Okay. I graduated college when I was 19. I have been married for 15 years, and I had all my babies at home.
So, who believes it's the 19-year-old college smarty pants?
She is pretty smart.
She is pretty smart. Who thinks it's the, yeah, what's the lie? About that, yeah.
Yeah.
Who thinks it's the home birth and babies?
Let the record show.
I've been married for 15 years. Oh, yeah, married. Hubby.
That's what I was gonna get.
All right. Yeah. So which one was?
I graduated when I was 20, not 19.
So
Let's just point out that Taylor had all her babies at home.
Of course.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, all three babies at home. So, rockstar mama.
All right, who's the boss?
Okay, I celebrated my 20th birthday in Ghana, West Africa. I am an avid snowboarder, and I broke my leg rock
Broke your leg how?
Rock climbing.
Rock climbing. All right,
Wait, say it again.
go through all of them, if you remember them.
I celebrated my 20th birthday in Ghana, West Africa. I'm an avid snowboarder, and I broke my leg rock.
All right, is the lie Ghana? No. Is the lie snowboarding? Okay. Is the lie breaking the bones? I think snowboarding comes snowboarding, yeah. Good job. It is.
Because I was writing a check.
You can just say it again. Yeah.
Truth, lie. Like you gotta guess which one of us is
Yeah.
right.
Oh, that's how we did it.
That's fine. Break it down, ladies.
Okay, on our 7th anniversary, we went on a hot air balloon ride. Not our 7th anniversary. I was born in Japan. And I won homecoming queen in my senior year of high school in Nebraska.
All right. All right. Lie. So one of these girls is telling the lie. There's a little bit different. So who do you think is telling the lie? Is it Stephanie? Raise your hand if you think Stephanie's lying. Stephanie? Or Debbie? Who's the lie? Hands on fire. Yes, Tiffany.
I was trying to be unique. I was gonna go more retro.
And here I am. I know. I saw you.
You guys gonna do like they did? Yeah, okay. We'll let you go. I have an 18-year-old daughter. Well, we know what she's voting for.
Woman baby 5 is coming.
It could be a lie. I tried out for the Bronco cheerleaders.
Ooh, what, girl?
Is she lying?
What did you say?
She get an 18-year-old daughter or child. 18-year-old kid. Okay. Bun in the oven.
Oh, Valerie.
Best not be lying.
That's
Pom-pom squad. Who's lying?
You
across country. My second one is that I have almost died 3 times. And my third one is I was published in a magazine for a really awful poem in Teen Magazine when I was a sophomore.
That's awesome.
Cross country driver. Is that the lie? Trifecta near death experience.
And still kicking.
I know. And Teen
Magazine.
What?
Poetry
Contest.
contest.
Almost. Awful. You got 1 go for that one. I have not driven cross country. Good job, ladies. All right.
Team builder.
Okay. The winner, even though we feel slightly amiss, and there better be pregnancy news at the next trip.
Hey, who wants to hear from Bob Bolander? Okay, let's hear from Bob. Here's about our 2017 designer trip. Who's going on the 2017 designer trip? Can I get some, like, hello? Jeez, come on. She gone.
Jewelers, today is the day that we've all been waiting for since National Rally. October 1st begins the qualification period for our next designer trip that will be held next spring. Now, the reason I'm talking to all jewelers, it's not for those who are designers today. It is for everyone to have the opportunity on this trip. But first, you must become a designer between October 1st and by February 28th, the end of the 5-month qualification period. And even once you become a designer, you must also, to register, have held 12 shows and sponsor 2 new tours during that time frame. Then your registration is open to you as a designer. Well, how do you earn this trip for free? Well, you're already accruing points starting today, October 1st. Every jeweler is receiving points. Go to the website, follow the links that we have here to learn exactly how you earn those points, because those points will reduce the cost of you attending the trip. But the focus for everyone right now is get excited, where do you want to go, and start working to qualify by becoming a designer and sponsoring 2 people and holding 12 shows so that you can join the designer family next spring in either Washington, D.C. or San Diego, California for these awesome trips that we have planned. See you there.
Hey, Team San Diego, let me hear ya. Team Washington, D.C., let me hear ya. Okay. Good. Girls, I'm going to turn Bob off here, but can you turn
Bob. You gone.
Girls, our theme for tonight is being faithful in all that you do. So last month we spent some time just talking about things to be faithful or not to be faithful in, but we spent some time with just retail on. Well, I guess I want that over here. Spent some time talking about how to boost your retail. Kate did an amazing job talking about the post and tic-tac-toes. We kind of got to cover a little bit before before the party, how to kind of boost up retail. At the party, if you haven't seen the video yet that I put on Facebook, some ideas for boosting your retail, go look on Facebook, and there's, 10 or 12 ideas on there for you. But tonight what I want to focus on is just increasing your retail after the guests have gone home. There is so much potential there, and that's kind of what we're going to focus on for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. I kind of need a timekeeper here. What time is it, Steph?
7:40.
Okay. 7:40. Okay, good. I'm already behind. Okay, so I don't really get to cover everything, but that's okay. Ladies, so the guests have gone home at this point, and it has gotten late for sure. The house is a mess, your jewelry is everywhere, but it is time to close your hostess. One thing I really just want to charge you with is that your attitude has got to like match what you want your sales to be. You've got to be excited for her at the end of the party. She has just cleaned her house, invited her friends, just poured herself out all night. You have got to still be on as the jewelry lady. It makes a huge difference in your retail at the end. Excitement breeds excitement, so get pumped when you're talking about it because you're going to be game planning with your hostess after the guests have gone to help her increase her retail so she's getting more free jewelry, plus benefiting your own pocketbook. So first thing to remember to bring is your hostess checkout sheet. So is everybody using this? Yeah? Anybody not using this? Not yet. That's okay. This thing is awesome. So it's just your hostess benefit sheet. I'm actually going to pull it up here later and show it to you. Don't forget this. I definitely can have things at my jewelry party that I run out the door with and forget. Sometimes this happens to be one of them. What I've done in my house, I put these right inside of my 6x9 envelopes, just a little practical thing. And then that way I have, and my giveaway. So I just put my giveaway right in there too. It's all together. I actually have my 4-year-old help me to build up my little packets. That's one way you guys can get your own family involved a little bit. That's really fun for her. So she gets to do that just while brother's napping. So just an idea there. So don't forget that because that is a money maker, that checkout sheet. We're going to talk about that. So whether she had 2 guests there or she had 10 guests there, whether she had 200 in retail or 1,000 in retail, we have got to act the exact same level of excitement because there's still a lot of free jewelry on the table for her and there's a lot of cash on the table for you. So the biggest thing I think about this is that you believe that yourself. I'm going to hopefully be able to provide some numbers to just show you how true that really, really is. But you have to believe that for yourself that there's still so much potential for her to earn free jewelry and there's a lot of potential for you to make more money after the party. If you don't believe that, then you're probably not going to present it to her with a lot of faith. And having just a hopeful attitude and excitement is really important when you're presenting this to her. So I just want to describe a jewelry party that I had last month in the month of September for you a little bit. So kind of paint the picture here. Jewelry party. I had a really terrible acne treatment done 3 or 4 days prior. I was a hot, flaky, scaly mess. It was embarrassing. I was yelling in my mind. I was like, what am I going to tell these women? You saw me on a good day, Beth. So if you can imagine, it was bad. So I was like, what the heck am I going to tell these women? This is so awkward. So I'm like, I'm just going to cut the awkward right from the beginning. I'll get up in front of these ladies, make a joke about it, and then we'll move on. So I make the joke, trying to build some relationship, get them laughing, have them fun at the jewelry party. It's a total bomb, you guys. They're like deer in headlights, like awkward, total cricket moment. It was awesome. So that's how the party started. So I knew I had some work to do. And there was a room full of women too. So I was like, oh goodness. So I had my work cut out for me to start with. Okay, so that was the first thing. About 4 guests showed up really late and just one at a time, kind of straggling in. I had already felt like I kind of blew some of the connection with me trying to make it like light about the whole acne thing. I actually had a guest who was sitting on the front couch, leave the jewelry party area, the very, very front, go hang out in the kitchen. Has that ever happened to anybody? Your guests get up and like kind of leave and you're like, oh my gosh. So I did my booking activity. 1 out of 11 women booked a jewelry party. Has that ever happened? Okay. So you're with me. You're like, okay, I have a lot of work to do here to redeem this jewelry party. I totally could have touted in the corner. It crossed my mind, but I was not going to let that happen. So I had to pull myself out immediately because I had work to do. So I just want you to know we're not focusing on guest checkout at this moment. But you better betcha, I asked every single guest during checkout if she would have a jewelry party with me, and one more said yes. So now I'm up to 2 bookings, okay? One said yes during the game, now I'm up to 2 because I asked her at checkout. So here's kind of how the party finished. 11 guests, 7 orders, okay? 2 more, like 2 left and said, yeah, I'll let you know, I'll be in touch. Okay, you'll be in touch, sure. No outside orders from Holly Hostess. The total retail was $416. So kind of for a party of 11, I might expect that to be a little bit more. So do I let my hostess know that? Heck no. I'm not like gonna put my own thoughts and opinions on her party and be like a little negative Nancy. She's gonna totally feel that. I do the total opposite, and I'm like, girl, we have some good news for you here. So we're going through our hostess checkout form, and it's my job, girls, to be faithful, to follow through at the end of this party. Her free jewelry is riding on it. My time away from my family is riding on it. So that's what we're going to jump into, the hostess benefit form. So I'm going to sit down here for a second so I can kind of go through this with you girls, because this thing is a money maker. And maybe you're doing it, you could use a little bit more attention to it. Maybe you could really make it a money maker instead of just kind of filling in the boxes and piecing out. So one thing that I was really bad at and had it when I first got into Premier is I would tell my hostess when I left the party, okay, this is so much fun, well, I'll let you know tomorrow how much free jewelry you got, because I was pooped, and I didn't really know any better. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. That's the opposite of what we're talking about here. So I sit my Holly hostess down, and I just start to fill in the boxes here. So I'm going to try to do it. Can you guys see this good? Okay, good. Okay. It's loading the form. All right, so total sales, $416. Awesome, girl, you got $416 in sales. She's excited. She doesn't know that, like, I was maybe expecting it to be $800. She has no idea. So I start with the retail times 30%, which was $124. Okay, and free jewelry. Girl, let's see what else we can make happen here. Okay, so I'm getting her on board to make a plan right away to increase this. Let's see how much more we can get you. So $50, same day, $100 in orders. I already told you guys she can have $100 in orders, and that is okay. So I just went ahead and let her know a couple of things. This has nothing to do with pre-orders. I let her know that Kim and Jamie had told me that they would like to place orders sometime. So they left and they said they'll be in touch. So back it up just a step here. So I'm just writing Kim and Jamie down here on her hostess form. Obviously I'm not typing it. This is my handwriting with my hostess. So I'm writing, so we're at 416 right now, but Kim and Jamie still want to order. So I'm putting their names right on my hostess form because this is her plan. This is her plan to go and work. Same date and $100 in advance orders. We all know that the hostess usually has somebody who she thinks is coming to the party who doesn't show up. And so I just asked her, I'm like, so who did you expect to be here tonight that couldn't end up making it? Well, I definitely thought my coworker was going to come. And she said she'd bring a guest. And then my neighbor, I don't know. So we're already kind of brainstorming here. So she's told me. So I'm just either writing these down, or if you want her to take a little more ownership of it, have her write them down. They're her friend's names, so have her write them down. I would put the numbers on there already for her, just so that she kind of, has a plan, because, I don't know, you tell them to write something down, and they're like, okay. But if you have a number there, then you can say, you can put that on spot number 1. I think that'll work better. Okay, so let's see here. We have, let me get my notes. Make sure, sorry. Okay, so we're gonna say that her coworker Andrea, where's Andrea? Andrea couldn't make it to the jewelry party, and Mom really wanted to make it, but there was really bad traffic coming up from Denver. Okay, who else? Who else couldn't make it? The neighbor, Susie. Okay, Susie couldn't make it. So you've already are telling her 3 people that she's going to go follow up with to get her outside orders. Do Kim and Jamie count as her outside orders? Heck no, they were at my jewelry party. I just did all the work, so I'm not counting those as outside orders. I want her following up with Andrea, Mom, and Susie, who she was hoping could come, or her cousin who lives out of state that loves Premier Jewelry. Okay? So building this plan with her. Bookings. That night we had, who did we have? Okay, so I'm telling her, girl, we just got you almost another $50 in free jewelry. Just follow up with those 3 friends. That is definitely going to be $100 in outside orders. So follow up with those 3 and we'll get you that other $50 bonus. Okay, right now we had Shannon booked a party during my booking activity. Then did you know that when I was talking to your guest that, what was that girl's name? I can't even remember. Okay. Angie, do you know Angie? When I was checking Angie out, Angie also booked a jewelry party, and she's like, really? No way. So suddenly, because I have worked for my hostess during guest checkout, she's in a lot better spot than she was before. So if you aren't under the impression that you need to be checking with your guests at checkout if they want to have a jewelry party, consider that you might not be working for your hostess as well as you should to help her get that 3rd bonus if you're not doing that. That's scary. I get it. Like, I get that asking guests again at checkout can be a little intimidating, but you have to do that to grow your own business. And if you're really working for your hostess, you should be doing that.
Quick question.
Yes.
Can you give me hey, I'd like to order this bag necklace. Okay, girl, how does that go for you?
So when I'm just asking her, good question, Leah. I put down we're going to work on overcoming objections. That's going to be what we're going to be working on here in a little bit. Because, yeah, I think that we all could use practice at that. Let me see here. I'm a notes person. I'm like, let me get back to what I was doing here. So,
You're 5 minutes over staff.
okay, thank you, girl.
Yep.
Oh, I only have like 30 more minutes of material, no big deal. Okay, so Leah, if I was doing one-on-one with a guest like that, I would just simply say, I'm like, girl, when can I help you earn some free jewelry before Christmas? I would love to help you do that. When can I help you do that? So I would use whatever you have going on. So we have Christmas right now, like, girl, you loved all the jewelry that you were in tonight. Like, I want to help you earn some for free. When can we get a couple girlfriends together? So that's the kind of verbiage that I would use at a checkout. Does that help, Leah? I just keep it really, really casual with ladies and just kind of meet them where they're at for where do you think maybe their objection is, or have they already presented that objection for you? Okay, so we all know that our hostess can be our own 3rd bonus, but I want to present a totally different idea to you ladies. Ask your hostess for referrals. I did some numbers and calculating, which is something I really, really wanted to show you, but I'll just kind of give a quick highlight. This right here, girls, shows 4 hostesses at the top last fall that I asked, do you have any girlfriends like a party patty? That's what I say. Do you have any girlfriends that are like a total party patty that would like to earn some free jewelry? Or someone that you know who maybe would like to do a fundraiser with me? Just by asking that last fall, I got 4 new parties. All of these pink boxes under them are jewelry parties that have come from me asking for referrals for my hostesses. I also have a leg of business in here that I've sponsored from. So, Andre, he's super sweet. He added the numbers up for me. From those 4 parties that those women were not at my jewelry parties, I asked my hostess, do you know a patty party? $14,000 worth of retail this year has come from those 4 parties and those legs. Is it worth your time? Oh, heck yeah, it's totally worth your time. And they're not going to refer you to the lady who hates direct sales parties, so you don't need to be afraid. They're going to refer you to party patties. The other thing I do is when I get emails from their guests, and I ask their guests if they're an outside order, would you like to help her earn her bonus? So I just email them back and ask them if they want to have a party. It's not very scary to send an email. It's a little scary to ask in person. So I just email them back, and I know for sure it's from just emailing them back. What's that?
I'm saying that's a great idea. I didn't think about that. I actually had a party on Saturday. Nobody showed up, and she ended up having $1,200 in outside orders.
What?
Not the
Yeah.
same person showed up till 30, but yeah.
So Brittany, it's probably not too late to still be talking to her about that.
Right.
But that's what we're talking about of like working for your hostess. Ask her for that because you're working to earn her that $50 bonus. Okay? Half price items, let's see here. Gosh, I had so many good numbers to give you guys. Do not skip your hostess checkout sheet. So you're coming back up here. You're saying, now we've got another 50 in free jewelry. Of course, you can be your own third booking. So we're already up to 174 in free jewelry, and she's going to be working on getting that $100 in outside orders. So then we're going to be up to 224. Right? 224. Okay, so 174, and then these half price items are key, you guys. These are key. So I want to spend just a quick second on those, and then we'll be done. Because Steph has awesome things to share with us too. So with the half price items, ladies, I just sell those things like there's no tomorrow. Girl, you got 6 items at half price. This is an amazing deal. So here's the deal. You have to use all of them. That's what I tell my hostesses. You have to use all of them. But don't worry, you don't have to use all 6 of them yourself. What you can do is you can share a couple with your girlfriend. You can use some for yourself. You can do whatever you want with them, but just make sure that you get rid of them because Premier actually lets you double dip and get free jewelry on top of whatever you get at half price. So I say that and they're like blank stare. Women need an example on this. They don't understand exactly what you're talking about until you tell them. So I'd say, okay, so Karen that was here tonight, I just make up anybody. Karen who was here tonight loves a $100 watch. If you call Karen and tell her that she gets to share exclusive hostess benefits with you, she's going to be stoked to get a watch at $50. So Karen gets the watch at $50, then Premier gives you 15 more in free jewelry. So I'm just kind of painting that picture for her so she knows how to work the system. I also provide a couple of red stamps for her to be able to follow up with guests like about half price items. Is it the number one thing I'm selling over full retail price? Definitely not. The women I'm encouraging her to follow up with on half price items are the guests who are at her party. Anyone who purchased jewelry, ask them if you want one of your hostess benefits. Like that's kind of who I'm telling her to follow up with. So here's how, here's how financially I've seen that make a big difference. Just a sec. So because I walked my hostess through this, like I mentioned that hostess earlier, really was a real person. So we went from $416 to $767. My personal profit increased by $94, and my CV towards my crown jewels increased by $257 because she got rid of those half price items. I personally, in my own retail, I need half price items to meet crown jewel. So if you guys are trying to achieve crown jewel, put a little bit more focus on your hostess checkout here. And you're going to have happier hostesses too because they're going to be earning more free jewelry. This is the last number I'm going to get. Today I was running my current crown jewel for just my last 10 parties, and I was shocked what I found. 24% of my crown jewel right now has come from my hostess half price items. Insanity. If you need to build your jewelry collection, because that is money in your pocket. That's free money from Premier by them giving you free jewelry. If you need to do that, you need to get stronger at your hostess checkout sheet for sure. So I was shocked, 24%. That also puts me ahead on crown jewels. So now instead of needing whatever X number of days, I can do it in about 3/4 or 75% of the time that Premier gives me because I'm focusing on making sure that my hostess is earning as much free jewelry as possible. So this hostess, and then at the end, girl, you're paid to sparkle. So half price, just cut your retail in half. And I tell her, watch the video on my website, and I'd love to pay for your $4 shipping and free jewelry. You'd be so good at this, Tegan, because you're so cute and women love to be around you. Okay? Girls, that's it. Now let's give it to Steph. Thanks, girl.
I'm gonna cut at least 20 minutes. I'm gonna cut at least 20 minutes off mine. I'm done.
Sorry, Steph. I'm like, we're flying through.
That's totally fine. This is all good stuff, right? So I have to give a little disclaimer. I feel really like woozy and stuff right now. It may or may not have to do with the fact that I've got Spanx on up to here. Right? I might need to sit. Okay, so really quickly, I thought, so I'm going to talk about being faithful in sharing Premiere. And for those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, I'm just going to tell you really quickly a little bit about myself and my business. I've been in Premiere for exactly 1 year. I paid my first renewal. Last week, and my trading show was on October 11th of last year. So I'm just coming up. Thank you. I made builder after 5 months in the business, and I hit designer after 7 months in the business. Now that I've been in for 12 months, I have 11 first level jewelers, and I have 16 women in my 10-10-10. I'm telling you all of this, not because I have magical powers. There's nothing special about me. I am seriously, I am an introverted, stay-at-home mama of 3 boys. This was so far outside of anything I'd ever pictured myself doing. But the beauty of this, ladies, is that we have an awesome system that really works. It doesn't matter what your personality is. It doesn't matter what your inherent talents are. We have a system that works. So I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about, if I can do this, you can do this. And I also want you to keep in mind, I'm talking about being faithful in sharing Premiere. That's very different from being faithful in enrolling new jewelers, okay? Because that's not our job. Our job is just to share this opportunity and see if it could bless the women around us. Our job is not to persuade or talk or drag women into this business. I have found, after sharing the business so many times, the marketing plan really does speak for itself if we have the boldness and the heart and the courage to share it. Really quick poll here, just because I'm kind of curious. Who in the room already knows they want to sponsor or they are sponsoring new jewelers? That's awesome. Who has decided that they absolutely, beyond a doubt, never, ever, ever want to grow a team or a downline? Okay, you can raise your hand. Who is like, I don't know, like really, I just don't know. Okay, good. Okay. So it helps me to see that we generally are kind of all on the same page. We're all on board, even if our specific goals and timelines are not the same, the principles are going to be the same, okay? So I have 10, I might shorten it down to 5.5 principles here. Okay, first one, if you've been around for any length of time, you've heard us say this before, know your why. Do you know why you're doing this business? If somebody asked you, why are you doing this jewelry thing? Do you have an answer for them? Is it concise? Is it vivid? Is it real to you? Have you written it down and stuck it in your back pocket? Because that's what's going to keep you going during those moments when it's just crickets. You just told your best joke and it's crickets, or you asked 11 women to have a jewelry show and nobody did. Your why is going to keep you going. I could tell you lots of reasons why you might want to enroll and sponsor in this business, but I mainly want you to think about charting your own course and being intentional about what your course in this business is going to be. So really quickly, there are pocketbook reasons why you may want to have a downline. Selling jewelry is great money. We make a 50% commission on everything we sell at retail, which is amazing. And let's face it, we're kind of limited by the number of home shows we can physically go do in a month. So Sarah puts it really well, like home show money, that's our bill money, that's paying the mortgage, paying the car payment, getting our bills paid, paying our kids' tuition. But when you build a downline, that commission check is residual income for a lifetime. So that is the type of income that starts to allow you to have the financial freedom to start dreaming really big dreams. There's also the heart reason. I mean, I have been blessed beyond belief, mostly by the women in this room, by what Premier has brought into my life. We have pocketbook reasons, we have heart reasons that until you get into it and you start working it, you can't even begin to describe to people. So whether or not you want to sponsor, I almost feel like it's our duty and responsibility to talk about this really cool thing that we have in Premier. Okay, so that's number 1, know your why. Number 2, be faithful in sharing what you love about Premier. Own it, ladies. We're jewelry ladies. Right? What do you say when people ask you, what do you do? My husband called me on this one. For how many months? I was like, oh, let me stay on my I went to the doctor today. They're like, occupation, jewelry lady! Exclamation point. Let your light shine. Okay, we're jewelry ladies. Leave a little sparkle everywhere you go. We're here to make people happy and help them feel beautiful and confident, and that's awesome. So be bold to share what you love about Premier, even outside of your home show business. Okay, number 3.
Steph, take 10 more minutes.
Huh?
Take at least 10 more minutes.
Okay, I'm doing okay.
Yep.
I'm talking really fast because I can't breathe.
I don't want 10 more minutes.
Can you pass out? Pull it down. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry you had to hear
One
that.
size smaller.
You know what I did? I put them in the dryer today.
Oh,
I totally lost track of my laundry. Okay, that's not what you wanted me to do with my Okay. Be faithful in having home shows be the foundation of your jewelry business. So we have the freedom to sell jewelry anywhere, anytime, anyhow we want, which is awesome. But if you are serious about growing a team and having a downline, home shows have to be the foundation of your business, because that's when you are meeting your prospects. That's when you're connecting with people one-on-one. That's when you're letting your light shine and you're leaving your sparkle all over people. Is when you are at your home, at your hostess's home, having a fun home show, being the fun jewelry lady. And the thing about home shows is that it's never about us. We leave our baggage and our yucky day in the driveway, and we walk in the door of our new friend's home, and we are the fun jewelry lady, there to help you and your girlfriends have a good time. We love what we do, we're excited, we're enthusiastic about it, and that is what people are going to be drawn to. Be personable, love your people, love your peeps. I really like this song that says, God put a million doors in the world for his love to walk through, and one of those doors is you. So let that be what you do when you're sparkling all over people. So you're loving them. Read it. Okay. Number 4, be faithful to do what your upline trains you to do. I was so relieved when I enrolled with Kate and she was just like, do this. This and this and this, just do that and everything will be fine. I had a bookstore for 11 years. I wanted someone to come in and tell me, Steph, just do this. And it didn't work that way. We have an amazing system. We have a great plan. Work the plan because it works. And I have been getting some interesting feedback on other Premier parties that people have gone to, and it's really clear who's in the Rockstar family and who's not, without even knowing, because there's something really special about the Rockstars going all the way back to our upline in Florida, and the training they've put together for us, the system they've put together for us is awesome, and it stands out to people. So, I said it earlier, we have a simple business plan that is not dependent on your own personality or talents. It's based on skills. That's awesome because you can learn and develop skills. And you just rely on that structure. Running your jewelry shows the same way each time, the way your upline trains you, doing the letter game, doing your intro, the P, the D, showing the big money. It's a system that works. The other great thing about having the system and the structure is that when you rely on that, you can relax and let your own uniqueness and authenticity and individuality shine through because you've got the rails to run on. Your show is running on the rails. So that frees you up to let your own personality shine through. Way back at the beginning of my coming to training, Maggie, you said something at a training that I wrote down that I thought was really awesome, and I keep referring back to it, and it may be that somebody else quoted it first, but I'm quoting Maggie. She's awesome. And what she said that day, sitting in Kate's house, that was crazy when we could have training at Kate's house every month. Seriously. She said, you will be successful when you are uniquely you. You don't have to be Kate Correa. You don't have to be Sarah Correa. Be uniquely you, and people will love you for it, okay? So what that means is I feel like there are 3 key points in my home show when I'm talking about sponsoring. And it's been, that's my husband standing back there, it's been our vision from day one in this, that we wanted to sponsor and have a downline and mentor other women in this business. And we just knew it right out of the gate. So we made sure that that was the focus of where we were spending our time. So be faithful to these 3 things in your home show. In your introduction. So you've got everybody wearing jewelry, you're seated, you're about to start your presentation, you thank the guests, you thank the hostess. I like to do a little hostess gift at this point. And then you just do a really quick intro about yourself, why you do Premier, who you are. I always tell people, you know, I'm going to be your new jewelry lady, so I think we should probably get to know each other a little bit better. And then I say, this is my first hook. I know you guys didn't come here to sign up to be a jewelry lady, and that's totally fine. But I want to just invite you to watch what I do because it's simple, and I have a lot of fun doing it. And here's what I found. For most of us, there's more month left over than money. And Premier Designs can help fill that gap. And because of Premier Designs, me and my family have the financial freedom to start to dream really big. That's it. I put that little hook in my intro. We're going to get back to it. Yep, slowly. I know you ladies didn't come here tonight to sign up to be a jewelry lady, but I want to invite you to just watch what I do because it's simple and it's a lot of fun. And here's what I have found. For most of us, there's more month left over than money. And Premier Designs can help fill that gap. And then, boom. And then I just say, for me and my husband and our kiddos, it really has given us the financial freedom to dream bigger dreams than we were dreaming a year ago, which is really cool. Okay, so that's the first thing that I commit to faithfully in my home shows. The second thing comes when we're doing the letters. So you do P is for Premier, D is for Dream Job. And this is where you can really bring home what makes Premier unique. 50% commission, no sales quotas, no minimums, no inventory, flexible schedule, tax benefits. All of these things that add up, whatever your personal why is for making this a dream job. And then do some sort of sponsoring activity, no matter how awkward it is. Always do a sponsoring activity. Even if you think out of the room, 9 out of 10 women could care less what you have to say right now, there may be just one who needs to hear it. And that's the person that you're speaking to. So commit to always playing some sort of sponsoring game, sponsoring activity. We train to do big money. If you don't know what that is, just ask your Premier upline and they will go through it with you. Okay, so that's my second hook. And then as soon as big money is done, you direct them to their guest survey. So number 1, you need to have a guest survey. Number 2, somewhere in your guest survey, you need to give your guests a chance to indicate how curious they are. And ask them to circle a number if they want to hear more about the business. Now, Leah, I think you and I were talking about this with Kate. I didn't have this in my notes, but it just occurred to me to share the whole scale of 1 to 10, because I have seen an interesting change in sponsoring people since I changed my verbiage. So Kate, I was going through a spell of three or 4 months where people weren't circling anything higher than a 3. And I was like, what do I do with that? And she said, well, tell me what you're saying. And I said, well, you know, I give them a scale from 1 to 10. I'm not an on-the-spot funny person. I have to have all my funny stuff scripted in. So I would say, so 1 being, I'd rather gouge my eyeballs out than be a jewelry lady. 10 being, you know, I'm ready, sign me up today. And she's like, really? Gouge your eyeballs out? So maybe it's just the fact of putting a little bit of a negative spin on it. So don't encourage or even suggest to your guests that they might rather gouge their eyeballs out than do what you're doing. You don't even put that thought in their mind. So I took that verbiage out. And whether it's just God's timing or whatever, I've seen a change in my numbers. So there you go. Okay.
So what do you say now?
I just leave it simple. I say, don't fill anything else out on your guest survey. We're just going to look at the very bottom of the sheet. There's a scale of 1 to 10. Just circle a number on there to show me how curious you are, either for yourself or for another woman that may come to mind, if you want to hear more about the business. But then people don't always follow directions. And I'm like, no, really, like circle a number.
Because I can't remember blank.
I'm like, circle a number.
Took 2 minutes.
Because you know how funny that was, and you were that cute, like, man, I'm watching you, you're not saying it. When you say you're done, then they're like, okay, you got it. Really down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I was at my friend's house. I thought it was a big deal to circle a 6 on my survey. I didn't really want anybody else to know that I was maybe thinking about doing this crazy thing. So I also, when I gather the surveys, I treat them kind of confidentially. I'm not always like, yeah, you just never know like what's going on in their hearts and minds that kind of led them to be curious. So.
Well, keep putting out a good point too with that is that you don't really want to just like shout it out to one right there because they could be sitting next to the boss.
Right, exactly.
Now that they're like, oh, really? You want to do this instead of working for me, you know? Or because, we don't know their life.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 5, be faithful to follow up. The first place this happens is at the party. The number 1 thing you're doing after you're collecting those guest surveys, even more than selling jewelry, ladies, tell me if I'm wrong. I have 2 minutes left, okay. Is looking at those guest surveys and seeing who circled numbers on there because you want to approach them in the moment of their excitement. I love having one-on-ones with prospects. I love it, love it, love it. I get such a kick out of sitting down, elbow to elbow, and hearing where a woman's coming from, what are her goals, what is she thinking of, and then thinking about how Premier could meet those needs. I love it. So I look for opportunities to have those one-on-ones with my prospects. Also, be faithful in inviting people to our fund shares each month before training. I didn't do this at first, and I wish I'd been doing it all along. Each time a monthly training comes up, I'm thinking, who can I invite? Who can I get to be my guest? How do I need to bribe them to get them there? That sort of thing. Okay. Number 6, be faithful in at least addressing, if not altogether overcoming, your prospects' objections. Because objections, and we're going to talk about objections to bookings in a few minutes. Sarah has an awesome thing that we're going to do. Objections are based on fear. They're not based on truth. So take a minute to speak truth into the life of the woman who's sitting next to you. Give them truth to hold on to. Because God didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of power. So speak truth to that. Often objections are one of 4, or any of these 4. Money. I don't have the money for the investment. Time. I don't have time to do something like this. I don't know enough people, or even self-doubt. Like, I'm not a salesperson, or I couldn't do what I just saw you do. All of these boil down to, what if I fail? So speak some truth into that. If you want to practice addressing each of these objections, grab a sister jewelry lady or someone in your upline. Okay, that's number 6. 7, I did. Number 8, have your own personal goals and don't be afraid to run promotions for yourself. In this past 12 months, Premier has run a couple of really awesome enrollment promotions. But sometimes if I have a specific goal, like I wanted to be a designer before National Rally, I'm not afraid to give my entire training allowance sometimes. Or if someone will, you're smiling, because that's, yeah, and we got Stacy enrolled in May when Premier was offering the awesome enrollment promotion. We don't have to wait for Premier or even your upline to do it. This is your business. Work it according to your goals. If you have a goal to be on this designer trip, then think about some promotions that you could run, whether it's $50 off enrollment or giving some free jewelry from your samples. There's lots of ways to be creative with that. I'm faithful in feeding my brain. I'm constantly learning about Premier, about direct sales, reading books. We're going to trainings that Premier offers us, going to see Randy Draper. Bob Bolander's coming. That's available to all jewelry ladies. Take advantage of those opportunities to really build up your mind. Come to training. I think I've only missed one training, and that's when I was in Las Vegas, and my running buddy totally Skyped me in. It was awesome. Really pay attention, be faithful to make sure that you're nurturing a growth mindset. So it's things like, are you excited, enthusiastic, encouraging? Are you enjoying what you do? Are you patient, determined, positive, and upbeat? Do I have one more minute?
Not really.
Okay, number 10.
Like three or 4 over.
Okay. Be faithful to trust God's timing. He's bringing the women into your life for you to love and take the time with and to serve. Don't pre-qualify women either in or out of this business. You never know. What we're asking you to do is to share Premier and then trust that it's in God's hands. And I think that's all I have. Yeah.
I just want to share, I met with a friend I have and that was my first, I said her, oh, you come to Rudy, you know, from your lady, and you'd be interested in the show. And we met for breakfast today, and it was wonderful. So it's just like I said, God's time. And she'll help her and continue on. Yeah.
Thanks.
Jewelry shows bring women together. That is definitely the truth. Ladies, so one thing I want to really quick point out about Stephanie's journey. So Stephanie became designer in about 6, 7 months, something like that. That's about how long we have until our next designer trip. So if you haven't given the attention to maybe sponsoring, it's never too early or too late to get started with that. You really do have great resources and examples. Stephanie is an amazing example of how you can get that done quickly. So just talk. You have to open your mouth and ask for help. That's really the first step, is just talking to your upline and saying like, okay, something you're doing is working and something I'm doing is not working, and that is okay. And then get a meeting scheduled to just reach your own goals. Okay, we're gonna do something really fun here. Tina, Patty, I want you girls to come up because this first row down here is team number 1. I want you girls to huddle up over here around Kelly and Janet. Everybody move over here. Team 2, you head back to the table. We're going to focus on overcoming objections. No pins. Don't use pins. Use these now. Okay.
I think you guys can get happy.
Yep. Pull over these chairs or sit down or whatever's comfortable. Guys, can you grab a couple of folding chairs maybe, or so we can get those over the couches easily? Okay, ladies, so what we're gonna work on is, because I know that it's not always the easiest to ask for a party whenever they've already paid your booking activity. But the thing is we're not all the kind of personality that just is a yes right away. I'm a thinker. I need a minute to process when somebody asks me a question that I'm not sure about. Well, I don't know. Do I have enough friends to invite to a jewelry party? That was the very first thing in this room at Kate Corbet's training show 3 years ago. I sat right here on that couch, and as she was doing it, I was totally freaked out. I'm like, I don't know enough people. I started writing down names on my love it list of people I would invite to my parties to make sure I would even have enough. Some of us are processors. And so even though we may not get a yes right away in your booking activity, you still have time to overcome objections. So on this team here, Maggie is going to be the captain. Okay, Maggie, your job is to coach your team through overcoming these objections. So you can share those with your team. Okay, every woman on your team needs to know the answers to how to overcome these objections. So an example is, I just don't do home shows. And then you could say, you don't have to have a big party, just invite your friends over and you'll still earn a lot of free jewelry. That's overcoming an objection, girls. Oh, it doesn't have to be this room full of women or like this many people. That's overcoming an objection. Okay, over here, Erin, you're gonna be your team captain. Girl, you gotta get your whole team coached on overcoming objections. We're gonna play a game in a few minutes, and each of you is gonna come up and overcome objections. But don't worry, you don't have to do it in front of the whole room. It's not gonna be awkward because like at your jewelry parties, you're one-on-one with your guests. You're gonna be one-on-one with me and Stephanie, working to overcome objections, but you are gonna earn points for your team when you can successfully overcome objections. One of the very first things that you need to coach your team on, Maggie and Erin, is asking for the jewelry party. So everybody get really comfortable with saying, hey girl, can I help you earn some free jewelry before Christmas? Because Steph and I are going to require that you first ask us for free jewelry or ask us to have a party before we even give you an objection to overcome. Okay? And since you're going to have 5 minutes, Erin and Maggie, to get your team coached and ready for overcoming objections.
Okay, so these are just some common objections. Like she did, I don't do home shows. That is what I always do, is I don't bring it up. It doesn't have to be a big thing in Kilimanjaro. If you don't want to come to mountains or anything like that, we can just grab a couple friends and go to Starbucks. We call that a U+2, usually I make somebody that same thing. I usually just recommend that. So it's not. Another one that's on here is just saying it's really easy, it's really simple. I'm going to do the invitations for you. I'm the one doing all the work for Nicholas' friends. The next one, my house is too small. She's got 9.
That's me.
I actually just told her the same thing, that it doesn't have to be a get together. She actually just remodeled the house, so I told her, let's do it as a housewarming party. I said, invite your friends and family, close friends and family, it's just something small. I said, that'd be a great way to show off in your house too, so.
Yeah, that's the next one.
We're doing it next Saturday.
I remember Kate talking about that one time. She's like, great, when she should be good. Around June, okay, like she actually like didn't even know. And she called that lady back later and was like, hey. Yeah, I've done this before.
She was like,
yeah, house totally my house is too small. You're going to always recommend that you +2 again. Or you can say, you know, like once you have a family member, like your mom and your mother-in-law, someone who is close by that might be interested in co-hosting with you. You know, you can hold them for house. I don't think
Wait, no, but it's an option. I don't ever recommend it, but it's an option there.
Well, and whenever you recommend, yeah. Whenever you recommend a gala party, always follow it up with you +2. Right. Because you're donating your or just gala party with someone who's in town.
Wait,
Not worth her
time.
Hey, 3 more minutes, coaches.
Right. I know we're jewelry. That's a hard one.
That's a hard one. Okay, so actually that was just all right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, free gifts for other people.
Or I ask if someone, I was gonna say, I asked you if someone has like a birthday coming up or the anniversary that you'd, be a good gift for or something like that.
I also, my sister, that was her big thing, she's not. She's like, no, like, I don't do it, like,
Okay. But so funny. My sister hated jewelry. And now she can't stop wearing it.
A lot of times I'll come to me and be like, well, I don't really wear jewelry, but I feel like it was stuff you show.
Yeah.
You know, it's just because people know how to wear it.
Right.
Or because they think they have to wear this much.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
on
They're
that
just
close.
intimidated by
I
it.
really like it. She's a bracelet. And then all she wears.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm like,
it's a
you know,
bracelet.
That's exactly what I say. I said, you need to have your, you don't wear, you know, I know what they do like. So usually we're just small, little earrings or small. Or I get a lot of people who wear fancy jewelry and wear jewelry. Yeah. And then they should wear all of that. She's wearing like two bracelets.
One more minute.
Oh, it's my real thing. We're on schedule. We only need 2 weeks to get the invitations up, you know, in advance, we can still get you ready. My husband will let me have a show.
Girls here,
I'd say that's why I recommend either like a football game or you use SRX. Do it both. Or these are
Well, it depends on his reason for not wanting to have one. I have too much jewelry already.
Oh.
Well, then there's the direction gifts again. It's like, oh, great, then it's not. I bet everyone do jewelry when she gets some free jewelry as gifts.
Okay, girls, we're ready. We're ready to get started. All right, so here's the deal. You're gonna send up one person from your team, and you have to ask Stephanie and I for the jewelry party before we give you the objection. We'll give you the objection. We're using the same list that you guys just got, okay? We'll give you the objection and you overcome it. When you successfully overcome it, you earn a point for your team. The guys are going to keep track of the points. Okay? If you come up and you go space and you just forget what we're talking about here, run back to your team and say, here's my objection, and then run back up with the answer. Okay? If you get everyone in your team through and up to overcome an objection within 4 minutes.
Holy crap.
5 minutes. No more than 5 minutes. Okay? If you get everyone through in 5 minutes, then you get a bonus 3 points for your team. Okay? Oh, wow. You cannot bring your sheet. You have to put your sheet in so you're going to do this teamwork. Good. Okay.
Just one.
Number 1. All right, you get your timer going. Okay. Ready? Go.
I'm sure, yeah, no, You know, you were so sweet to follow with me. I probably would have done it if you hadn't called it. Thanks for calling. Good.
So I'm gonna go back a little bit. I have got compliments. Yeah, I couldn't know. I oh my gosh. And then always match somebody. I've never tried well, you wore it long, right? I wore it long. And I did actually I was at my own show when I signed up. I just think they said, try on jewelry. I did so God with all this, but I thought I'll just try it. And all my friends were like, that is so good to have. So this is like what I bought. I spent all 8 of my happy. And then I signed up. My showcase in my own.
Maybe like 5 minutes from now.
Well, she'll, say,
Good job, ladies. Did your whole team make it through? Three? Okay. So how many points? How many points? 8. Awesome. Okay, we're going to give this team an extra ticket into the drawing. Good job, babies. Let's grab our chairs really quick because we are not done giving out tickets. recognition. We have recognition. We're gonna get our tickets going. You ladies did awesome. Girls, this paper comes from Joni Ruggles' website. Ladies, if you are needing this, which we all really are needing this, I have some. You can also find it on Joni Ruggles' website, or I can post it on our Facebook page too. Definitely something that takes practice. You are not automatically just going to be able to overcome objections unless you have practiced overcoming them. One thing I really, really love that Erin said at the very end, and I want you guys just to remember, use this to your advantage. You are working for Holly Hostess. So when you're checking your guests out, let them know, I want to help Holly earn her bonus tonight. Would you let me help you get some free jewelry for Christmas? And then that helps Holly get her bonus too. It doesn't matter if you've only got one booking so far, because you're planning on getting her 3 that night. You're planning on getting Holly 3. So don't worry about telling your hostess like, well, nobody's booked yet, so I'm kind of worried I don't want to say that. You're planning on it. You're planning on getting 3 before you go. So go ahead and use that verbiage. All right, let's, I said recognition is next, but it's not. Okay, Robin, you're up. Girls, we're going to hear from Maggie. If there is one person in this room who I can think of to talk about being faithful in all that you do, this is 100% the first girl that came to mind for me, and that is exactly what Maggie is going to share her heart with us tonight. Sorry, we'll move out of the way. So thank you so much for Regis to share.
All right, so Sarah asked me to do a devotional tonight on faithfulness. And as I was kind of working on it through the week and thinking about it and praying hard about it, I realized how important faithfulness really is to me. It's something I strive to be faithful. It's something that I expect from people. And it's something that I really appreciate about our Lord. So I always like to start by looking up a word's definition, especially a word like faithfulness, which is kind of a church word, right? It's kind of a religious word. And so it's always kind of fun to see what the secular definitions are. So I looked it up on dictionary.com.
Sorry guys, battery issues.
And they had 6 different definitions, and I think they're all kind of important, so I'm going to read them all for you. And so this is actually faithful, the adjective. And number 1 is to be strict or thorough in the performance of duty, like being a faithful worker. Is to be true to one's word, your promises or your vows, etc. Number 3 is to be steady in allegiance or affection, to be loyal, to be constant, like to be a faithful friend. Number 4 is to be reliable, trusted, or believed. Number 5 is adhering or true to fact, a standard, accurate, like a faithful account or a faithful copy. And then the 6th one, which I think is funny, that dictionary.com says is obsolete, is to be full of faith and to be believing. And what I thought was interesting about those definitions is that I really believe that faithfulness should be evident in every area of our lives. And as women, we wear so many different hats, right? We are so busy, we are spread so thin. There's so many different things we do. We are daughters, we are sisters, we might be wives, we might be moms, we're business women, we might have another career, maybe you're a teacher or you're a nurse. We wear so many different hats, and we want to be faithful in all of those things. And what I thought was funny about these definitions is that I feel like each one can fit different parts of our lives. Faithfulness, it's generally the same across the board, but it can be more specific in different areas of our lives. So for example, the first definition of being strict or thorough in performance of duty, obviously that pertains to work, to our work lives, to our businesses. The second definition, being true to one's word, promise, and vows, your marriage, right? You are to be faithful to your vows, faithful to your spouse. Obviously, most of us find that to be important. Number 3, being steady in allegiance or affection, being loyal, being constant, that's friendship, right? We all want to have loyal, steady, constant friends, and we want to be that for other people. The 4th one was to be reliable, trusted, or believed, and I think that's just kind of across the board. I think it fits motherhood pretty well. An important part of being a mommy is being trustworthy and being a safe place for your kids, and that's just such an important part of the bond between the mom and her kiddos. It's just being faithful, being trustworthy, being there for your kids. But just across life in general, right? We want to be trustworthy people. Number 5, adhering to fact, being accurate. That's just kind of life in general too. Once again, we want to be trustworthy, we want to be accurate, we want to be truthful all the time. And then number 6, of course, our faith in the Lord, which is apparently obsolete, to be faithful and to be believing. So I just really appreciated how those definitions kind of spread across our lives. And I found this quote from Joyce Meyer that I liked, and it says, faithfulness is not doing something right once, but doing something right over and over and over and over, which I think is so true. And in every area of our lives, there are decisions that we are making every day, and sometimes it's the same decision that we make over and over, and we just choose to do the right thing over and over again, right? As moms, it's like a broken record. Just making those same choices every day. So what is it in us that makes us want to be faithful? I found a couple verses that I wanted to share. And the first one is one of my favorites that you'll probably recognize, from Lamentations chapter 3, 22 through 24. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh each morning. I say to myself, the Lord is my inheritance, therefore I will hope in him. Galatians 5:22. But the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness. And then 2 Timothy 2, verse 22 says, run from anything that stimulates youthful lusts. Instead, pursue righteous living, faithfulness, love, and peace. Enjoy the companionship of those who call on the Lord with pure hearts. The Lord is faithful. And I think that has always been and is, and always will be, one of my favorite attributes of our Creator. He is faithful and he is good. 2 Timothy 2:13 says, if we are unfaithful, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny who he is. We are made in his image, and so we desire to exemplify his characteristics, but it's not always easy for us. We're not always good at being faithful, at being honest, and at being trustworthy. But however many times we are unfaithful, the Lord is so faithful, and I love that. I love that his faithfulness never ever changes. And so I just want to share that. I don't know about all of you, but one of my greatest disappointments in this business has been just seeing the lack of faithfulness and trustworthiness in some people. And that's just been hard for me, because I guess I expect better of myself, and so I expect better from other people. So I just feel like you really find out who your real friends are when you get into this business. I don't know if you all experienced that. When I first started in June of 2014, what was 2 years ago, and I had my training show, I had one person come, and that was my mother-in-law, who kind of had me there. My mom was in a different state, or she would have been there too. There were a lot of things that could have been done better about my training show, but honestly, I thought my friends were going to be there. I really did. I've been at my church for over 10 years. I've been on small groups. I have a huge network, and not one of those women showed up. And that was heartbreaking for me. And not that is all to blame, of course, but that really helped kind of start my business in a hard place. And it put my heart in kind of a hard place as far as starting out this whole business. So I don't know if you've experienced something like that. Maybe it's a friend or a family member who hasn't supported you, who won't host a party, even though you ask them, I'm really quick 6, I'm just starting out, will you do this for me? And they're like, no. Those people when you're like, hey, could you just help me? And they're like, no. Or maybe, someone a family member who won't even buy jewelry from you. Or your hostesses, when they flake out and you can't get a hold of them, or they cancel. Maybe they had a good reason, maybe they're just flaky. Sometimes customers can be a pain, and they are not faithful and they're not helpful. People who never RSVP, right? Nobody RSVPs anymore. Come on, just RSVP. People don't do that. Or they do RSVP and they say they're coming and they don't. And then your hostess is so discouraged and she's so disappointed. And there you are counseling your hostess and you were right on her. It's okay. This happens to everybody. You don't have bad friends, because I've had hostesses make those remarks. Like, my friends suck. I don't have very good friends. No, you do. Trust me. You do. Those people are not trying to be unfaithful, but they're probably not working all that hard to be faithful in all the areas of their lives. And how should we respond? In faithfulness and in love. Because our Lord is always faithful, no matter how many times we are unfaithful to him. So we need to follow the Lord's example as much as it is in our power with our hostesses, with our customers, with our friends, and with our family members. This quote from C.S. Lewis says, "For you will certainly carry out God's purpose however you act, but it makes a difference to you whether you serve like Judas or like John." So I don't know if you want to serve like Judas or like John, but I want to serve like John, even when people are the Judas. That's a little extreme, but you know. Love on your hostesses when they're discouraged by their flaky friends, even when they try to cancel. Like I said, they might have a good reason, they might just be flaky, but just love on those hostesses. No matter what you do, don't join the ranks of their flaky friends. Don't be that flaky friend, be their faithful jewelry lady. Call your customers and follow up. Do your customer care calls. Most of the time, you're going to hate it, and it's going to be painful. But every once in a while, you're going to see fruit from those phone calls. And just remember that no matter what your customer's response is, at least she can't say that you weren't faithful and that you weren't helpful. So I had this one customer this summer who I contacted, and she was disgruntled. And I had no idea until I called her. She hadn't contacted me. She had ordered Matthew 1720 and fine art at a party, and she had seen Matthew at a party, but she tells me that Matthew is so long that it's unwearable. And she's like, "This is ridiculous, I can't wear this." I'm like, everybody wears it. And her fine art necklace had come to her very tangled. And so, you know, I tried to explain to her, like, well, that's kind of the style with Matthew, those longer necklaces, but if that's not what you like, you know, we'll change it for something else. And with those delicate necklaces, unfortunately, sometimes they tangle in shipping. You know, I'd be happy to try to help you with that. So I agreed to try to meet with her. I was going on town, I think it was rally, so I told her I would call her when I got back. I had it written on my calendar, and I dreaded it for, you know, a week or two. But on that day, I called her, and I set up a time. She made a point to tell me about how busy she is and how many hours she works a week, and she doesn't have time for this and all that. But I set up a time to stop by her house when she was going to be home. And so I went there and I stopped by, and she'd forgotten I was coming. Of course, she was home. She had a photographer there taking pictures of her house that she was putting on the market. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to make this quickly. So I went with my checkbook because I was like, if I have to, I'm just going to buy this jewelry back and just make her happy. Because whatever it's going to take, I just don't want her to be angry. And so I told her straight off that. We talked a little bit about Matthew, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to give you a refund on that, and that's fine. And for the fine art necklace, I was like, would you let me just try to untangle it? She was like, yes, if you can do it, just go ahead. So she left, whatever, and I'm sitting like on her living room floor untangling her fine art necklace. And I left it on the table. I reminded her about, you know, there's a removable strand, and you can wear it all these different ways. And I left it on her table with the check, the Matthew necklace, and I left. But I could tell in her demeanor that she was surprised. She wasn't happy with the jewelry, and she probably wasn't very happy with the premiere. But she couldn't really be unhappy with me, and she couldn't tell people that she hadn't gotten good customer service. And that's why I went. It was not fun, but I haven't heard from her since, but at least I know I did what I could do, and I was faithful. The other thing is be a friend to your friends, even when they disappoint you. We can't expect our friends and families to carry our businesses. No, we don't. I know most of us don't, but they need to know that we don't, too, and you can't let that affect your relationships with them. Ladies, I have a best friend who thinks she supports my business pretty well, but really it's pretty terrible. And mostly she just expects really cheap jewelry when she feels like buying jewelry. And my husband gets frustrated to no end. But you know what? She's my friend, and she's been my friend forever. And I do not need her to have a successful jewelry business. So when she wants to come, that's great, you know, and I can love on her. But otherwise, we are friends, and I can love her as a friend. There's one more quote. Being faithful in the smallest things is the way to gain, maintain, and demonstrate the strength needed to accomplish something great. If we want to accomplish great things in our lives, our marriages, our families, our businesses, our friendships, we have to do the daily work of making those right choices in faithfulness and in love.
That right there was solid, like through and through and through. I'm like, yes, right on point. I needed that one. I need that reminder. That was really, really good. We needed that. Thanks, Maggie. It was awesome. Girls, last thing here, we're going to do some recognition. Celebrate you guys. You've done awesome. We're really excited, and we want to get you some more tickets. into a drawing. Does anybody want to win free jewelry? All right, there's some recognition. We're gonna make this a little bit more streamlined and quick tonight. So let's start with top retailer. Our number one retailer in October, Valerie Holman with $2,650. That could also happen. Good job, girl. Number two retailer, Tegan at $1,660. And number three at $1,650, so just $5 shorter of Tegan. Erin. Top single home show. One person who had a $100,482 show was Valerie. Yeah. Very, very fun. And Valerie, you just went back up with another ticket because you were the number 2 spot too for Good job, girl. Good job. 2 home shows. That is awesome. Okay, number 3, $820, Lupe. Number of home shows. So this gal had 6 parties in September. Erin. In September with 4, Brittany. Okay, and then I blame this on Jeremy, so I just want to clarify. Valerie, did you have 2 shows? Okay.
Well, 2 home shows. I did like
2 home shows though? Okay, well, I'm blaming Jeremy, I had a different name. So when we have ties in any area, the tie is always broken by retail, so number of shows would be Valerie too. Number 2. We had a lot of those too. Yes, good job, girlfriend. Some awards and some promotions to celebrate for people who are here. That would be Erin with 25 Home Show Club. And then girls, Rachel Royal, she had her Fix Our 60 member hat out on her site. Very good.
I'm grandmother's and I one show away
Good
from
job here. Good job.
I just had my party last night.
Oh, it's for September.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're going to celebrate Brittany again next month. Andy, you take it. Okay, girls, write your name on your tickets and I'm coming around with the bowl. Tickets in.
Valerie's still writing.
So we have a disclaimer really quickly. That did get jewelry ordered in time, but it's not here yet. So I'm going to show you what you're going to win. And I'm going to give you a picture of it. And then you're going to get with
That's your claim prize.
Yeah.
That's how you claim it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You take
That's
this
a gold
to Kate
ticket.
House and trade it in
for actual
for
jewelry.
real jewelry.
And she'll be back
Can those be
Wednesday night.
Shannon, teach your mind out better. Okay. Let's see here. Ready?
What should we go for first?
Testing. Charmed. Okay. Winner for Charmed, Kim Anderson. Awesome. Okay. What are we going for next, Ben?
Stardust.
That's their earrings. It's gonna be this person, Erin. Charisma. I'm putting this in my 3 as a key trade, girls. Okay. It was Erin again. Is that allowed? We didn't talk about that.
Unless I get to choose.
Oh. I don't know. I'm kind of passive. You got
No, go ahead.
You're so sweet. Okay, it's over. I just said no. Cheers! Girls, thank you so much for coming tonight. Be sure to get treats and stuff before you go. All your fall treats. Thanks for bringing treats. Good night, girls. Good to see you all.